Welcome to the 313. We need you guys to like, share, and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Today we have a bonus clip and we have a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Tammy.
Today we are going to talk about something that is going through the headlines, extremely important topic,
Very serious. We'll try not to be laughing too much.
r.kelly.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
I mean, there's so much you can say about r.kelly and, you know, just what you think versus how he portrayed himself on the interview. I mean, the list could go on and on. So let's just talk about the man himself, r.kelly. So what are y'all's thoughts in regards to just one, let's start off with just the interview. Just the interview. There was an interview with Gayle King, and this was his first interview since being, charged with these different things.
Accusation.
And so, what did y'all think about it?
Well, first, he made himself look like a complete idiot. I would say that. You know, it would have been better for him not to do an interview at all, if you ask me.
I agree.
Because it made him look like a really good actor. There were a lot of theatrics and, like I said, arm flapping, you know, like he was walking around flapping his arms and getting upset. And it really kind of showed a different viewpoint for me as him as an individual rather than him on stage, because I could see the aggression and the, I wouldn't say violent behavior, but just see a lot of the aggression.
Violent behavior. Because at one point, he was like real close up to her face. Like, I mean, I didn't think he was gonna hit her, but he was like
and Gayle was yeah, she was very unbothered. But I definitely feel like I was able to see how he could have been a different person with these women. My thing is, if you can do this while you were in a room full of camera people and you know that you're being recorded and your character has been assassinated, as you say, right, I would think that you will be able to conduct yourself better in a more calm fashion. So that was definitely an eye-opener.
And I think one thing, he's already very hard for him to receive sympathy just because of what he's done. But you're really not going to get sympathy acting a fool on stage and trying to, I guess, manipulate the situation and kind of deflect from what people are saying you've done, and you're trying to play the victim when in actuality you are not the victim.
Right.
So I think that he really went about it the wrong way, and I agree he should have never done it.
It made him look a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it did. Me. Like, I'm not saying I didn't believe the allegations at first, but if I didn't believe the allegations at first, I definitely believe them now. Just because, you know, it's just something about, like, when you know that you are innocent, like, you want to prove your point, but you don't have to act a fool to prove your point.
You really, like, all that emotion and stuff that he was showing wouldn't have been necessary if you know you're not guilty.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, since we're still on the topic, Azriel and what's the other girl's name? Jocelyn.
Something like that.
So Jocelyn, so they were actually interviewed as well. And what was stated in the interview was that r.kelly was not supposed to be in the room while these ladies were being interviewed, but several times he coughed very loudly to make his presence known to the young ladies.
Did he cough as like a hint of, you know, don't say that, too far, or, you know, reel it back in?
They didn't say. It was more so, I think they may have edited that part out, but they did say that he wasn't supposed to be there, and because he was coughing, they knew he was there. So
just their whole interview, like, They were very just like, you know, what is her name? Azriel, yeah. She was just so aggressive and this woman is not accusing you. Gayle is not accusing you of anything, you know, or whatever you might think. She's just interviewing R. Kelly, and you happen to be both of his girlfriends. So, of course, you know, we want to hear what you have to say too. So why are you getting upset with her? Like, why are you bringing out so much aggression towards her when all she's doing is asking you questions? And I remember she said something like, they're accusing him of something and he didn't do it. Well, my thing, how do you know what he did 10 years, 15 years ago? Like,
you weren't there.
Really know
You're
what
only
he
21.
did?
You haven't been there, but for the past few years, from my understanding.
Exactly. So I could tell you anything, like, but you don't really know if I'm being honest or not. You know, you act like you didn't just had this perfect relationship with him. You know him up and down, all this other stuff. But in reality, how true is that? You know.
And I think the fact that she was so defensive, it was very obvious that it makes you want to believe the parents that they are brainwashed. Because you're defensive, like you said, she's just asking questions and you're coming off aggressive for no reason. So it kind of just proves more that he is guilty.
Right, and coming off aggressive for somebody it's not even you. Like, you trying to defend him. Like, you trying to get yourself in trouble for him. Cause attention to yourself because of him. And I don't care how much, I don't know what he's doing. How much money is he giving them? What is he doing to like cause them to be so?
It's just like some serious mental stronghold type of something. Like, I'm trying to understand what keeps them there.
Yeah.
It's definitely psychological.
Yeah.
Because nothing else makes sense. Even looking at some of the things his ex-wife talked about, as far as things that she put up with, having to knock on the door to get out her own room and things like that.
That's crazy.
Like there were in the documentary, there were older women that did, you know, I wake up in the morning, I was like, I'm done with this, I'm out of here, and they left. So, you know, what's the difference?
I think a lot of the difference between that is when he is getting these young girls, like the age as to when a lot of the older women that he, you know, that left, they were older when they first got to him, so they have been independent before. They have
not
had
as
jobs.
Impressionable.
Not as impressionable. They may have been, you know, put up with this particular situation for a certain period of time, but eventually they have enough maturity and realize this is not right, this is not healthy, this is not love. And for them, Azriel was 17 when she met him and Joycelyn was 19. So they were very young. Like, what are you doing at 17 and 19 years old? Like, you definitely ain't sitting around with somebody that's 50 and older than your dad.
I mean, were they are they singers?
Yes. They were both singers. They were both singers.
Okay,
and
that's
how it all
in the music
started.
industry.
Yeah.
And so that's how Joycelyn's parents was like, he was supposed to be doing XYZ for her, and then all of a sudden, it, you know, and same thing with Azriel.
Right.
But it happened a little bit different with her.
But for me, I also look at the parents. I get that you were trying to get your daughter's music career jumping off, but at the same time, R. Kelly has been known for this for years.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there are certain places that you don't put your children with somebody like that. I'm sorry, my kids would not go to R. Kelly's house. They wouldn't go to Michael Jackson's house. We're not playing those games just because of
Even if
the
he
allegations.
was acquitted.
Yeah, just
Even
because
if he's
even
acquitted,
for it to even come to that point makes me wonder what's really going on behind closed doors.
I mean, would you trust a Catholic priest with going to your child's house?
No.
At 19, okay, 16, yeah, but 19, how much control as a parent
You don't.
do you have?
You really don't.
What they're doing?
You don't.
Yeah.
At 19, no.
It's hard to control them when they're younger than that.
16, 17, you still got some,
Legally.
But once Azriel turned 18, her parents said that's when everything just completely stopped. Stopped, getting phone calls from her. Stopped having any communication with her whatsoever. The only time that they really saw her after that was when she graduated from high school, and then she went back.
I just don't understand. Now,
let me tell you this. As a mama, if that was my child in a house, I don't don't care how many police officers was outside. Jerry Devon Rector and Prestoria Tempest Rector would have been knocking down the doors with bulldozers and everything else.
Start smoking that place.
Yeah. Keep putting the building on fire, you gonna get your in the name of Jesus. Let's go.
You gonna burn it down?
Look, whatever I gotta do to get my child up out this house. We wouldn't been throwing up rocks. We been throwing up for the rocks. Let's just say that. But on the record, and then we could go to jail. Mama come back to the child and I'll go to jail. Don't let her out your sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, okay.
But what about the documentary? Like, how did you feel after watching it?
I must say I couldn't sleep. The nights I watched it, I was up late knowing I had to go to work, but it was really addictive to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't, once I started watching it at 10 o'clock, like I watched probably 4 episodes, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm still eyes wide glued to the TV. And then when I did try to go to sleep, it was really unsettling for me. Like it was like a tossing and turning, like, who could do this? Like, why would you do this to children? It was very disheartening. So,
Yeah, okay. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, when I first saw, I think the first night, it was 3 or 4 episodes came on, and I was glued to the TV. I couldn't cut it off. Really got into it, but then I feel like after watching the documentary, I still used to listen to R. Kelly prior to watching it, but after watching it, I just can't even listen to his songs.
oh yeah.
I have no type of peace listening to his music anymore, just because although some people try to say separate the man from the artist, I'm sorry, this man and artist did these things to these children, and so it just really was unsettling for me.
I mean, people say that to me. That's like separating a pastor that's cheating on his wife. Separate the pastor from his like
congregation.
Yeah, it doesn't. To me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's what was I about to say?
What was I about to say?
I don't know. Well, as far as the music is concerned, like after I watched it, like really feeling convicted about listening to his music, but then realizing how much music he is involved in. So not only the music that he sings, but the stuff that he's produced, and so it's everywhere. So it's like, do you not listen to all of those too? And a lot of stuff you don't even know that he's behind. But now I'm more aware of it, so I know his sound. So I know, you know, when I hear certain stuff, I'm like, this is probably one of his songs, type of thing. So do you wipe that all out? And I was mentioning to them earlier that, you know, with music, a lot of our memories are associated with music. We hear stuff and we think of happy times, you know, being around your friends when you were little or family and stuff like that. So, you know, all your memories kind of gone because you're not listening to that music anymore. And what type of impact does that have on you?
Yeah.
I know that one song he did with Changing Faces. I think Stroke You Up. And I realized it was his song, because in the background when they say, do you mind if I stroke you? He's like, no, man. Yeah, so I was like, oh, never mind. Because immediately,
It's a very sexual song.
it is. And I'm thinking, you thinking about a 12-year-old. I just don't hear it. And so I had to change the station. But yeah, that definitely, like you said, he's produced a lot of music. It just so happened to be that song in particular, he was on the actual song. But I don't know. I can't do R. Kelly right now at all.
It's tough. And so when I watched the documentary, you know, this is R. Kelly, who's a superstar, and it's more on a larger scale, but thinking about the other situations that we don't hear about whether it's a man or woman, but abusing their power to manipulate people, you know, for their own desires or whatever it is, and knowing that there's people like that in that situation.
He was abused.
Yeah.
You know, so he needed to seek help. And that was one thing that I thought was really, really weird. Like when he did that Gayle King interview, like she asked him about his abuse
and he
past,
said
and he said that it was no effect on him.
Yeah,
like
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. He needs counseling.
Yeah, how can you think that someone physically and sexually abusing you has no effect on you as an adult.
You are in denial.
You are in denial. Like, you are in denial. And even his brother, like on the docuseries, something wrong with his brother. Like the one that was in jail, like something was wrong with him. Like some of the things that he was saying about how
it's just a preference that he likes younger girls.
Yeah, that it was just a preference. He also said that it was because R. Kelly and his lawyer tried to blame his little brother to be the one that was actually in the video, even though they look absolutely nothing alike. And he told him that he would give him a record deal if he said that it was him. First of all, how you gonna get a record deal and you in jail?
Right.
That's the first thing. But the older brother was like, man, you should have taken that.
Yeah.
You should have taken it. Like, but why would you do something like that? So something wrong.
So then,
Okay.
so then, what about everybody in his camp who saw this stuff going on and didn't say anything, that were helping hide his stuff, get rid of the tapes or whatever they were doing? You know, should they be held accountable?
Absolutely.
I mean, when you're talking about like a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl, and you just sit there and you don't say anything and you know that this is going on, like, I feel like you need some type of, you need to be held accountable for that, because that's just out of control. Like, that's I'm talking about, like, I think about, Aaliyah, I just can't.
She was 12. Aaliyah was 12 when she met R. Kelly.
When I just think about that, like
What was
a
you doing
12,
over there?
a 13, a 14-year-old girl who they don't know who they are, they don't know anything about life.
Very
really.
trusting.
Yeah,
you
like,
trust people who are older than you. You look up to them.
Not even that, but thinking about their bodies. Like, what are their bodies like when you're trying to penetrate a 12 and 13-year-old girl? And like,
Getting real deep.
girl, like seriously, we're talking about like pain associated with that. Like her body as a 12-year-old. First of all, Aaliyah was very small. She was not very chesty and busty, so you can't tell me that she looked older than what she was. Yeah. So at 12 years old, she was probably just as flat chested as she was the day she was born. So how in the world does that? How does that?
Men are physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
How can a man see that to be sexually desirable as a flat chested 12-year-old
then there you
girl?
go. It's something. He's mentally ill. Like, he has a mental illness. Like, and it's been for so long. Like, he's had it for forever. But because he makes good music and because he got the right words to put to a song, then, you know, we kind of just accepted that, are not even really focused on, hey, it's something really wrong with you. Like,
Well, I think it also goes back into African American community, him being molested as a child, his brothers being molested as a child, him trying to separate the two, knowing that this is where it really all stems from, but not getting that help that you need.
Yep.
Because whether he ends up in prison or not, he still needs to get mental help. His brother still needs to get mental help.
Absolutely.
So in order to end the cycle, and the problem is we want to sweep it under the rug rather than talk about it because we're ashamed. But what you should be ashamed of is the fact that you never went to get help. All this money you have, you
And
have
now
the best
look
parents
what
in
you
the
have
world.
done.
And now look at you.
Yeah.
So
I think that is a very good point, because just in the black community by itself, like, we have so much stuff that is like that, that's very prevalent, that we just traditionally just put it under the rug, act like it never happened, keep quiet, do all kind of stuff, especially in our families and stuff.
Every family.
Like, and that stuff gets passed down to generation to generation. Nothing ever gets solved. You know, conversation is never had, and you know, you end up birthing that stuff back into the new generation. So I
and
guess
then you have the people around you that's pumping you up, telling you you're doing good, you're doing good, you're doing good.
Everyone deal with it.
Instead of, you know, addressing the issue, hey man, you got these girls on here, you're gonna have to stop, or we're gonna have to go. But I don't wanna, the people around him, they don't wanna risk their check.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Your money is more important than these girls.
Yeah.
Your integrity. I mean, my thing is, like you said in the interview, had that been my daughter, you would have been busting down some doors.
Yeah.
But why you don't think that these fathers feel the same way about their children? And you don't even know your kids because they don't even like you.
Yeah.
But if you're listening, if you're listening, they don't even like you. But imagine fathers that have been there the entire time and have taken care of these children and nurtured these girls and wanted them to be their best.
Yeah.
And wanting to put them in whatever they can to grow their talents, and they see an opportunity with R. Kelly. I was about to say with you, like you're really watching that. But yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah, and yeah, I remember, you know, and just seeing those girls up there, and their dads talking about, no matter what they did, like, I'm gonna put the blame on them too, because, you know, they should have had a little bit more. I feel like when you respect your parents, you want to do things that are not going to put them out there. They obviously don't respect their parents. Maybe they brainwashed. They was in there calling them all kinds of names, you know. And
at this point, they're brainwashed because I remember I saw one interview of Azriel's dad, and no, I'm sorry, it was Azriel's sister, her older sister, the one that was in the docu-series. And her sister said that they saw her, like they tried to they have gone to multiple concerts to try to get pull in one particular concert. They tried to pull Azriel off stage, her mom and her father, and the security guards came and got them, and Azriel was just like, "You're not my father." Like, so it's brainwashed to where you don't feel like this is your dad who's raised you.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, everyone, please take your mental health extremely seriously.
Absolutely.
Like everyone has a story. Everyone's childhood has some impact on who they are today. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to be abused. You know, it didn't have to be that story, but something happened in your childhood, because no one's childhood is perfect, even though you probably thought it was, because I did at some point think that mine was perfect until I found out otherwise. So, you definitely need counseling. You definitely need to make sure that people around you are real. They'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you when you off, when you saying stuff that's off, when you're making the wrong decisions, because that's important for sure. So, share your comments and feedback about this shenanigans. If you have any tips or advice about anything, if you have references for, I don't know, counselors or something that people can look for, you can share that as well. But make sure you like and subscribe and share. It's the 313.